So if you've got a Gibson Les Paul, you know the problems that come with it, and typically everybody will always tell you that the G string or the D string are always a problem staying in tune. And I just got this guitar this weekend. This is a 1992 Gibson Les Paul Classic, which I am completely obsessed with. Look at that flame. Beautiful top, beautiful guitar, and it won't stay in tune for anything. I reached out to the seller, and he actually said that this nut was set up for 9s, and he put 10s on it, so now I am stuck figuring out what the heck to do with this, because this is the clear indication that there is a problem. Which is a clear indication that there's a lot of binding happening in the nut, and typically on Gibson guitars, you'll know that the main problem lies right in here with the G and D string, because they're at such a sharp angle. So because they go in such different directions like that, it actually gets stuck right here. So most Les Pauls that don't stay in tune, it's really a product of the nut. The next clear indicator that you have an issue with the nut is that it will not come out of the slot without being pulled out. So I just detuned this D string a little bit, and you'll see here, and check this out, when I get up here, it's still bound in there, so I have to actually pull it out, and you hear that pop. That's the sound of the string being bound in there and then coming out. It's typically a sign that your nut is too tight. Okay, go ahead, make your joke, fine. For this, we're going to be using these Music Nomad diamond-coated nut files. These come in all shapes and sizes for whatever string gauge you use. Make sure you use at least the size of the string. So if you're using a set of 10s like this, you want to either match the number or go a little bit above so that you make sure the string can move freely within the slot. Alright, so since this D string is the most annoying culprit and could potentially take the most work, I'm going to do that first. So I just slack the string a little bit, pop it out. And for this, the string gauge is a 26, so I'm going to be using this 28 Music Nomad file. And now something important here is that I don't want to be digging in and down. I want to have an angle like this going downward so that I'm not affecting the takeoff point of the string, which should always be at the very front edge of the fretboard and on an angle downward towards the back of the headstock, kind of like that, if I was to do it. But for this, I want to do this kind of a rolling motion back and forth so that I can widen out this slot without taking off any material going downward. So the only material I want to take off is side to side. And since it's the D string, I'm going to kind of curve it a little bit so that the string has a clearer path into the tuning peg. And these files are great because they have a stopper here, so I can't scratch the headstock. So right there, I'm not even really touching the takeoff point as much as I am there. Let's see if that settles in there. Hey, it's Steve from the future. I lost the man bun and beard, and I filmed this a while ago, but I wanted to jump in here and say something because I know what you're thinking. And no, I didn't scratch up the truss rod cover of the guitar. As you can see, it's perfectly fine. What you see in the video is, I guess, the dust from the files and the dust coming off of the nut. I guess it left a lot of residue on there and actually looked like I was scratching and digging into the truss rod cover. But I can assure you, it is totally fine and all is good. Don't worry about it. So now when I push in towards the middle of the headstock, you hear the pitch bending, but it comes right back to being in tune, which is exactly where I want this to be. And it shouldn't need any more widening or any more fussing with. Now it's got a clear path to go in and out of the slot. And now we're going to move on to the G string. All right, let's pop this out. You hear that plink, meaning that it's too tight. For this, it's a 17 gauge, so we're going to use the 20 from Music Nomad. I guess I haven't used this one before. And now the same way, I want to go outward towards the part of the headstock to make sure that I'm getting that good clean takeoff point, and then I'm getting a little bit of an angle outward for the string to move freely in. Again, I want to roll this as I go so that I'm just widening the slot out and not going down. And you see that motion going away into the middle and back away towards where the string is going to lie. See how we did here? Now you can see, I mean, I just tuned it up with no issue at all. And now rings out still, I didn't go too low. It just about comes right back to pitch, but I'm happy with that, and that should work fine for the 10 gauge strings. Alright, so that is how to do the 2 tougher strings. I'm now going to just repeat that same process for the rest of the guitar, and ask any questions you have below. Keep in mind, I am no tech, I'm amateur with this stuff, and I've just figured out along the way how to get this stuff done and how to do it. If you're not comfortable doing this, take it to a real tech, get it done the right way, and don't blame me if you screw anything up. But if you did get something out of this video, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one.